So, my dear students, once again, we are going to continue with dissolution of partnership form. I wish good morning to all my dear students, and hoping that all of you are fit and fine and taking care of yourself as well as you are taking care of studies. We are going to start today's class. Okay. So, in the previous video, I explained you about the treatment of realization expenses and how it is treated in different format. We have learned about the journal entries and we have seen a thorough understanding of that. Hopefully that is clear to all of you and all of you have watched it properly. Now today we are going to go ahead with the journal entries little bit. In the first video I have explained all the journal entries related to realization account exception of partners loan and partners capital account, how it is settled. So that I will explain today, and we will take up a complete sum where actually complete means it will have a completeness in the nature of realization account will be there, partners capital account will be there, partners loan account will be there, cash book will be there. That means cash or bank account we have to prepare. Okay, so that is the complete nature of a question. So that type of complete question we are going to take up today. But remember that journal entries are very important in this chapter. Okay, so journal entries are an important source of question from this chapter, so please take care of that and take care of that very seriously. Okay, a complete question can be there, may be there, may not be there, who knows, but journal entries are very probable from this chapter. Okay, almost every year journal entries come in the final examination, so please take care of that. So coming to the class, so what we are going to do is that we are going to start with this partners loan account, how the entry is given. You can see it's point number 2 is mentioned because point number 1 has already been explained in the first video, where is the entry related to realization account as well as transfer of all accumulated profits, reserves and all. Okay, we have learned there. So today we are going to learn how we are going to treat the partners loan account. Okay, so partners loan, that is if a partner has given loan to the firm, if a partner has given loan to the firm, what will be the entry? Now if a partner has given any loan to the firm, in this case we have to either pay him directly. Okay, we can directly pay him or we can sometimes pay him through his capital account also. What happens is that there are generally two situations being given. One, where the amount of money is transferred to the capital account. Okay, it will be mentioned in the question, so accordingly we'll do. It will be mentioned in the capital question. Okay, it will be then in the question it will be mentioned that the partner's loan will be paid through the capital account. Then what we will do is that partner's loan will be closed. Since partner's loan is a liability for the firm, so it shows credit balance. Okay, so to close it you have to debit it. So partner's loan account debit, and to partners capital account will be credited if it is paid through the capital account. Okay, अगर capital account के through पेमेंट करोगे तो क्या होगा? Partners loan account debit बंद हो गया, partners loan to partners capital account में credit हो जाएगा, आके capital में बढ़ा देगा वो. Okay, and if it is paid through cash or bank, if nothing is mentioned, you pay it through cash or bank. Okay, so what will be the entry? Partners loan account debit to cash account or bank account. Okay, पार्टनर लोन बंद होगा, लाइबिलिटी होता है, क्रेडिट दिखाता है ना, बंद करने के लिए डेबिट करो. सो पार्टनर्स लोन अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश और बैंक अकाउंट, क्रेडिट करके पेमेंट कर दो. ठीक है. ओके, now sometimes it can happen that partner has taken loan. I'll mention that situation here, that will be understandable to all of you. If partner has taken loan, if partner has taken loan from the firm, in this situation what will happen is that the loan from partners loan will appear in the, I'll just mention that thing, partners loan will be appearing, where it will appear? Appearing in the asset side. Okay, asset side of the balance sheet. बैलेंस शीट के एसेट साइड में अपियर करेगा. ठीक है, दैट मीन्स पार्टनर हैज टेकन द लोन. ओके, इफ द पार्टनर हैज टेकन द लोन, so if partner will take the loan, that means what? That is signifying that it is a asset for the firm. So in that case, we deduct, if nothing is mentioned that a farm is that the partner is going to pay or not. So in that case, what will happen? We are going to take the money from the partner's capital account. The entry will be like this: partner's capital will take it. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. There's some disturbance in the page setting. Okay, so uh, partners loan हमारा एसेट था, right? So yes, partners loan was our asset. So partners loan will be credited and closed, and what will happen? We'll take the money from capital. So partners capital से लेंगे तो क्या होगा? Capital कम जाएगा, है ना? हमारा हमने लोन दिया था पार्टनर को, we have given loan to the partner. So when we will take back the loan, what will happen? पार्टनर का पैसा कमेगा. So पार्टनर का पैसा कमाने के लिए कैपिटल अकाउंट क्रेडिट sorry डेबिट, right? Capital shows credit balance, isn't it? So if we deduct the capital, partners capital will be debit, right? Partners capital debit. So partners capital account debit to partners loan account. Okay, partners loan account, the amount of money whatever it is. Okay, partners capital account debit to partners loan account. So please remember this entry nicely. Okay, partners capital account debit to partners loan account if the partner has taken loan from the firm. If the partner has taken loan, so it will appear in the asset side of the balance sheet. And how will you take it? We have to close it because it is appearing in the asset, means it is showing debit balance. So you have to close it by crediting it. So partners loan account will be credited, and where from we will take it? From the partners capital account. That is why partners capital account will be debited. So partners capital account debit to partners loan account if the firm has given loan to the partner or the partner has taken loan from the firm, same thing. Okay, now coming to the next point, that is what will happen in the partners capital account after all the realization entries has been passed out. So after all the transactions are over, how we are going to settle? Remember, there might be two situations. One, when the partner is required to bring cash to clear of his debit balance. Okay, there are two situations. अगर सब एंट्री ट्रांसफर करने के बाद देखा जाता है कि पार्टनर का, किसी एक पार्टनर का डेबिट साइड ज्यादा है, ओके, इट कैन हैपन दैट द डेबिट साइड विल बी मोर. डेबिट साइड मोर मींस लॉस फॉर द फर्म, राइट? डेबिट साइड इज मोर देन द क्रेडिट. ओके, किसी पार्टनर का अगर डेबिट ज्यादा है, लॉस ज्यादा है, ओके, डेबिट इज मोर देन द क्रेडिट, then what will you do? If the debit is more than the credit, I'm repeating again because you have to remember this point very nicely. If the debit is more than the credit, so it is a additional loss for the firm, sorry, for the partner. It's an additional loss for the partner. So partner will have to close it, close this loss by bringing that amount of money, because the farm is going to be closed down. There is no one going to see after that, after the farm is closed. So you have to settle it by cash. That means अगर फार्म, अगर पार्टनर का लॉस हो रहा है तो वो पैसा लेकर आएगा उस लॉस को भरपाई करने के लिए. ओके, पार्टनर विल ब्रिंग अमाउंट ऑफ मनी टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ द लॉस टू फिल अप द लॉस. ओके, लाइक सपोज द क्रेडिट साइड is 10,000 and debit side is 12,000. So debit side is more, how much more? 2,000. So the partner will bring 2,000 rupees to fill up his loss. Okay, the entry will be like this when you will bring for the loss. So the entry will be cash or bank account debit to partners capital account, respective partner के account में. Okay, पैसा आएगा, इसी के लिए cash और bank debit, और capital बढ़ाने के लिए ला रहे हैं हम लोग, so that it can be equal to the loss. So that is why partners capital is credit. Okay, clear? Please hear it repeatedly so that this point is clear to you all. Okay, if it is not, then please clarify with me. Then coming to the next point, if the credit is more, अगर उसका पैसा है, expenses सारा पेमेंट करने के बाद, लॉस पेमेंट करने के बाद भी उसका पैसा बच गया, okay, then he will get back this money, he will take away this money because the firm is closed now. There is no point keeping the money. So suppose the credit side is 15,000, credit side 15,000 and debit side 10,000. So 15,000 obviously is more. So that means if the credit is more, means the partner is having some amount of money in the firm. So what will happen? 15,000 minus 10,000, 5,000 rupees will be given to the partner. How? This time, how it will be given? it will be given by closing the capital. No need to keep the money anywhere, so the capital will be closed down. That is why partners capital will be debited. Partners capital account debit to कैश और बैंक अकाउंट. उसका पार्टनर का कैपिटल बंद कर दिया हम लोगों ने डेबिट करके, और कैश और बैंक क्रेडिट कर दिया. दैट इज व्हाई पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश और बैंक अकाउंट. ओके, then coming to the next one, the cash in the bank. You transfer all the opening balance of cash as well as the opening balance of bank. If both are there, you prepare. Okay, if the cash is there, then you prepare only cash account. If the bank is there, then you prepare only bank account. And if both are there, then what will you do is that you have to prepare any one. You can prepare cash or you can prepare bank, no problem. But whatever account you will prepare, generally it will be better you prepare bank account. Okay, if both are done, you prepare bank account. And what will you do is that first of all you mention it to balance brought down for the opening balance of bank. Okay, and then whatever the opening balance of cash is there, you mention it to cash account, the balance of cash whatever is there. And then all the entries related to cash you put in the cash account. All the payments you keep in the credit side. All the receipts you will write in the debit side. And after that, finally when you will do the totaling of both the sides, you will find that the debit side is equal to the credit side. And this is the proof that your question is arithmetically correct. Okay, that is the proof that your question is correct. If the debit side must be equal to the credit side in the cash account or the bank account. Yeah, so this is a very, very important key point. Okay, I hope all of you understood this, right? Now we will go for a practical sum. So here is the question. What is mentioned here? The question: X, Y, and Z were partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 1/2, 3/8, and 1/8. So respectively, that is X is having 1/2, Y is having 3/8, and Z is having 1/8. So what is the first duty is that we will make all the denominators same. Denominator means the down figure, isn't it? So how will you make it? 1/2 can be how the denominator will be 8. So 2 into 4 is 8, right? So into 4 in the denominator, so into 4 will be the numerator. So it will be 4/8. So 4/8, 3/8, 1/8. So the ratio is 4:3:1, right? 4:3:1. Then coming to the continuation of the question, on 31st of March 2012, they decided, okay, to dissolve the business. Okay, and their position was like this. On 31st of March, they decided to dissolve their business. They agreed to dissolve their partnership firm, where their position was as follows. How the position stands: reserve fund was 40,000. So this 40,000 will go in the partners capital account. Please watch the first day's video properly, otherwise it will not be clear. Okay, so reserve fund of 40,000 will be transferred to partners capital account. There is a partner loan. Okay, loan by X 30,000. So remember that if the loan is in the liability, okay, the partner's loan is in the liability side, that means the firm has taken loan from X. Okay, firm has taken, or you can say X has given loan to the firm. So it is our liability. We have just now seen the situation and we know how to settle it. So then coming to the next one, creditor is 80,000. Capital X, Y, and Z, you are having 2 lakh, 1,50,000, and 1,20,000 respectively. And the asset side, we have freehold premises, machinery, book debt, that is the debtors. Book debt means the debtors, 1,60,000. Provision was 10,000. So while transferring, as I have already told you, that while transferring it, the book debt will be going at 1,60,000, and the provision will go separately along with the liabilities. Provision of 10,000 will be going separately with the liabilities. It is not liability; it's a part of the profit that has been deducted in anticipation of the loss. So don't go for paying the provision. Okay, provision for doubtful debt will not be paid. Then comes the stock of 1,30,000. Cash is there 20,000, and loan to X. See, loan to X is there. Loan to X is there means what? It is a loan. Okay, loan to X means what? It is a loan that X has taken from the firm. This is a very nice question because both the situations are there. So X has taken, Z has taken from the firm. So if Z has taken the loan, that means partner ने अगर loan लिया है, मतलब क्या होगा? He will pay. Who will pay? Partner will pay to the firm. Okay, that we saw the treatment just now. It will be Z's capital account debit to Z's loan account, right? So that we have seen just now. So I hope all of you understood that. Now we will proceed with the next entry. So what is given in the adjustment? The realization, the assets were realized as follows, like this. Now what will you do is that you just give a quick study of the question, and then then what you have to do is that once you have understood the question, then we can go for transferring the assets. Okay, this adjustment and all you can study thoroughly at the time of solving the sum. Okay, in the beginning you just give a quick look on that, whether there is any special item like workman compensation reserve claim and all. Okay, what is that, how it will be treated, that will be studying in subsequent videos, subsequent classes that we are going to have. But for time being, you just remember, you have to just lightly you just see the question and then go for transferring the assets and liabilities. And as you settle the assets and liabilities, at the time you give a thorough look on the adjustment. So you can just look, the freehold premise is there, machinery booked at 10% less, stock is there, goodwill is there, the creditor were paid off at a discount. Okay, realization expenses are this much, like this. Okay, done. Now what is asked? Prepare necessary accounts. Prepare necessary account means the all accounts which are required in the realization account. At the time of dissolution of the firm. So there are 4 accounts which are required at the time of dissolution of the firm. What are they? First one, realization account. Then comes the partners capital account. Okay, even sometimes partners loan is prepared before that. So partners loan account, and then partners capital account, and at last cash or bank account. Okay, so we'll start with that. We'll prepare all the 4 formats. Realization account is prepared, then X loan account is prepared because there was a loan of X. If you want, then you can prepare Jat's loan also, but if you don't want, you don't require to prepare for that. Then partners capital account is there and cash account is there. Okay, all the 4 accounts are prepared. Now what we will do is that first of all we'll transfer all the assets. So we know the entry. Please refer to first video. I'm repeating once again. Why? Because if you are not clear with the first video, all the other subsequent classes of dissolution will be 0. Okay, so see what is given here. Freehold property was 1,80,000. The property value was how much? 1,80,000. And machinery was 1,20,000. Book debt we are going to transfer 1,60,000. Stock 1,30,000. So how will you transfer? It will be going like this. Realization account debit to freehold property, we are going to close it by crediting. To machinery, to book debt 1,60,000. To stock 1,30,000. Okay, so it will come in the realization debit side. To freehold premises 1,80,000. To machinery 1,20,000. To book debt, that is a debtor 1,60,000. You can see the total 1,60,000. To stock 1,30,000. Okay, cash and loan to Jet will not be transferred here, so you have to ignore that along with the provision. So provision will be transferred in the other side. So from what we are going to transform the liabilities, obviously not reserve, not loan. Then what we have, only creditor of 80,000 along with the provision. So the journal entry will be like this: creditors account debit, because it is showing credit balance, so you have to debit it and keep it on the debit side. So creditors account debit 80,000. Provision also shows credit balance, that is why it is a less in the asset side. So provision account debit, provision for doubtful debt. Okay, creditors account debit 80,000, provision for doubtful debt account debit 10,000, to realization account 90,000. So in the realization credit side, by creditors, by provision for doubtful debt 10,000, by creditors 80,000. Okay, once the entry has been transferred, settlement has been done in the realization. Now we can go for the adjustments. Other things will transfer later on. Okay, so what is there? The assets were realized as follows. Freehold property was realized 2,20,000. We have got machinery, we have got 1,10,000. Book debt we have got 10% less. 10% less means what is the book debt? 1,60,000. So 10% is 16,000. So from 1,60,000 if you deduct, from 1,60,000 if you deduct 16,000, you will get 1,44,000. So 1,44,000 is there. Clear? So 1,44,000 will get from the debtors. And stock we have got 1,20,000, and something which is not mentioned here, no problem whether it mentioned or not. Okay, whether it is mentioned or not doesn't matter, we can go for the asset. Okay, as we have seen in case of unrecorded asset. Okay, so goodwill also we have got 40,000. Don't see that, oh, goodwill is not there, how, from where from did we get? No need to mention. We thought that there is no goodwill of the firm, but while selling the asset, while selling the business, we saw that we have got something from goodwill also. So goodwill we have got 40,000. So what will be the entry? The entry will be like this: we are selling and we are going to get the money, right? So it will be bank account debit or cash account debit. Here see, cash account is there, so better you prepare cash entry. So cash account debit, okay, how much will be the money? Freehold 2,22,000, 2,20,000, machinery 1,10,000, then book debt of 1,44,000, stock of 1,20,000, and goodwill of 40,000. Okay, this will be the amount of money we are going to get. So the total will be 6,34,000. Okay, 6,34,000, and the entry will be like this: cash account debit. Okay, cash account debit to realization account, because it's a gain for us, so realization will be credit. Gain for us, realization credit. So credit side of realization account, what will you write? By cash account, freehold premises 2,20,000, machinery 1,10,000, book debt, that is a 10% less of 1,60,000, it is 1,44,000, stock it is 1,20,000, and goodwill it is 40,000. Okay, 40,000. The total comes to 6,34,000. Fine. Up to here clear? Then comes the next one. The creditors were paid off at a discount of 2.5%. So what were the creditors? We'll only see how much payment we have made, how much we have received. We are not required to see discount and all. Okay, हम लोग को discount का entry देने की जरूरत नहीं है. What is the discount amount? Just we'll find out and we'll deduct and pay him off. So 2.5% of 80,000. So 2.5% of 80,000 will be how much? 1,000. Okay, not 1,000, sorry, 2,000 rupees. So 2,000 rupees we are not going to pay. So how much will you pay? 78,000. Okay, 78,000. Right. So the journal entry will be how will be the journal entry? Realization account debit, loss for the firm, realization account debit to bank account, sorry, cash account, because here it's cash there. Okay, realization account debit to cash. So realization debit side to cash account, creditors paid 78,000. How come 78,000? 80,000 were the creditors and 2.5% was discount, that is 2,000. So 80,000 minus 2,000, it is coming 78,000. Then coming to the next one, and realization expenses was how much? 5,000. The realization expenses was 5,000. So what will be the entry for that? Remember, always give the realization expenses entry separately. Okay, पहले सारे एसेट का दे सकते हो एक साथ, सारे लाइबिलिटीज का एक साथ दे सकते हो, लेकिन रियलाइजेशन एक्सपेंसेस को अलग से दिखाना. So what will be the entry for that? Realization account debit, right? It's a loss. Realization account debit to cash account 5,000. So realization debit side to cash account, realization expenses paid 5,000. Okay. Then coming to the next one, rent 3,000 was outstanding and has to be paid. Any liability, remember, any liability in the previous first videos I told you, any liability if it is unpaid, you have to pay it. So there is an unrecorded liability of 3,000 in the name of rent, okay, which was outstanding. How will you pay it? Remember, you're not going to take the rent account and all. It will be, all the payment will be done through realization account. So realization account debit to bank account. Whether the asset has been transferred to the realization, whether the liability has been transferred to the realization, doesn't matter. You might say that it is unrecorded, it is not transferred. How it will be done? It is assumed that it will be settled there. Okay, it is unrecorded, so it will be directly settled from the realization. The entry will be like this: realization account debit. Okay, realization account debit to bank account, sorry, cash account here. Realization account debit to cash account 3,000, the rent paid. Okay, now all the entries are over related to realization, right? Related to realization, all the entries are over. Yeah, there's no more entries. So what will you do is that you will do the balancing of both the sides, debit side and the credit side. So you can see here that the credit side total is more. In the graph you find out, okay, the credit side and the debit side total, and then you can decide whether the credit is more or debit is more. And if the debit is more, it is a realization loss. If the credit is more, it is a realization profit. So here the credit is more because the credit is 7,24,000. Okay, 7,24,000, which is more than the debit side. The debit side total it is 6,76,000. So 7,24,000, if you deduct from, say, if you deduct 6,76,000, then how much will be the remainder? The remainder will be 48,000. So this 48,000 is nothing but the profit on realization. Profit on realization. And where it will be transferred? This profit will be transferred in the partners capital account. In the first day's video we saw that what was the entry? Realization account debit, okay, for transferring realization profit, realization account debit to partners capital account. So realization account debit side to partners capital account X, Y, and Z in the ratio of 4:3:1, as we have seen, 4:3:1. So it is 24,000, 18,000, and 6,000 respectively. Okay, 24,000, 18,000, and 6,000 respectively. Now coming to the next one, That is, what will be the next account? We have to prepare account for Z, that is loan by Z. Okay, so sorry, X loan by X. How much? 3,000. So X loan account you have to prepare. X loan account. What is the balance? What is the loan amount? It is 30,000. So what will you write? By balance, because it's a loan liability, right? So it will come in the credit side. By balance brought down 30,000. Okay, and since there is no information how it is settled, we'll directly pay it in the cash. So to cash account 30,000. Okay, if there is no specification, we are going to pay it through cash, as I already told you. So if there is specification to pay it through a capital, then it will go to the capital, but here no information is there, so it will be directly paid through cash. So to cash account 30,000. Okay, to cash account 30,000. Right, I hope all of you understood the loan account. It's very simple. Then coming to the next one, if it is not clear, you can clarify. Doesn't require that everything simple to me will be simple to you. Okay, because I'm not taking from the point of view of mine. I'm taking from the point of view of my dear students itself. I know you will understand it because that has already been explained in the journal entries and you have understood the journal entry. But still, if you have doubt, be free and frank to ask. Okay, it doesn't require that everything should be understood at the first attempt. Okay, that doesn't matter how many attempts you are making. The thing that matters is that you have successfully completed that particular attempt. Okay, the attempt should be successful. Doesn't matter in how many times. If you have attempted 100 times also doesn't matter, but if you are successful, that is the achievement. Okay, don't get deserted. Go on trying and give your 100% attempt. Okay, you will succeed. Now let's continue with the next one. Realization account is over, X account is over. Now third one is our partners capital account. We'll just make it and we'll transfer the opening balance first. So the opening balance of X, Y, and Z, it is 2 lakh, 1,50,000 and 1 lakh 1,20,000, right? So it will be coming like this: by balance brought down 2 lakh in case of X, 1,50,000 in case of Y, and 1,20,000 in case of Z. Now let's see what is there in the balance sheet that will come in the partners capital. So only one thing is there in the liability side, that is reserve fund of 40,000. This reserve fund of 40,000 will go in the partners account in which ratio? 4:3:1 ratio. The journal entry is like this: reserve fund account debit to X capital account, to Y's capital account, to Z's capital account. So you can simultaneously mixing the journal entry also, make the journal entry, that will be good for you. So it will be by reserve fund account. Okay, by reserve fund 20,000 in case of X, 15,000 in case of Y, and 5,000 in case of Z. Okay, by reserve fund 20,000 in case of X, 15,000 in case of Y, and 5,000 in case of Z. Then coming to the next one, is there anything else in the liability side? No. In the asset side we have got, yes, we have got one. What is that? Loan to Z. As I have already told, this will be as I already told, if it is not mentioned how it is settled, it will be settled through the partners capital. And how it is settled, we have seen the entry just now. I'll just show you the entry once again. It is partners capital account debit to partners loan account, right? So partner capital के debit side में क्या लिखना है? To loan to Z. ठीक है, Z के लोन में कितना है? Z का लोन देखो तो, what is the Z amount? 20,000. So it will go in the debit side of Z's capital as to loan to Z. To loan to Z, you can see here in the debit side of Z, it is mentioned here. How much? 20,000. Okay. I hope all of you understood that. Okay. Good. Okay. Then now we will go to the next one. So both the sides are over. Now we will go to the next one, that is realization account. We will find out where is the term capital account mentioned here. Generally in this question you have got only one situation, that is the profit on realization, but there will be many situations where the partners are taking away the assets or taking away the liabilities. Then there will be more than one situation where the capital account will be there. So what you have to do is that simple concept that you make the crossing. Whatever thing will appear in the credit side of the realization will go in the debit side of partners capital, and whatever will appear in the debit side will go in the credit side of the realization. Whatever appear in the debit side will go in the credit side of the capital. That is a journal entry concept crossing. Okay, so this will go in the, this is a profit, so profit will go in the credit side of the partners capital account. How? By realization account, in the bracket you can mention profit of how much? 24,000, 18,000, and 6,000 respectively. So you can see here by realization account in the bracket profit 24,000 in case of X, 18,000 in case of Y, and 6,000 in case of Z. Clear? Okay. Now let's see, is there is anything else? No. The loan account? No, nothing is mentioned. So now what we will do is that if there is anything related to partners capital, then you will be putting it here. Okay, if there is anything related to partners capital, you will bring it here. If it is not there, what will you do is that you have to just settle it. How will you settle it? Do the balancing, and in case of X, we can see it is 2,24,000, 2,44,000. So in the X on debit side there is nothing, so whole 2,44,000 will be paid to X. इतना पैसा उसके पास है, सब का सब उसको पे कर देंगे to cash account 2,44,000. In case of Y, it was 1,50,000, 15,000, and 18,000. The total comes to 1,83,000, which is totally paid 1,83,000 in case of Y. In case of Z, it was 1,31,000, which has been paid here. 1,11,000 is the balancing figure after deducting 20,000. So 1,11,000 is paid by Z. Okay, so whole of the payment is over. Now we'll come to the last one. It is a cash account. In case of cash account, what you have to do is that you have to first of all bring the opening balance of cash. How much is the cash balance? 20,000. So what will you write in the debit side, because it's an asset? So cash account on the debit side, to balance brought down 20,000. Okay. Now what you have to do in case of cash is very simple. You find out where you have mentioned the cash account, right from the realization account. Starting from the realization account, you just mention it. And here also you are going to use the crossing. That is, whatever thing will appear in the other accounts in the credit side related to cash. Okay. Anything appearing in the credit side of related to cash will go in the debit side of the cash, and anything related in the debit side, okay, will go related to the cash. Anything if it is related in the is written in the debit side of realization account, loan account, or partners capital account, it will go in the credit side. Crossing हो जाता है, debit चला जाता है credit में, credit चला जाता है debit में. Okay, that is the nothing but the concept of journal entry on the basis of which it is going. Okay, credit will go in the debit, debit will go in the credit. So starting from the realization account, in the debit side, we can see there is cash, 3 cash entries. One is 78,000 related to creditors, 5,000 related to realization expenses, 3,000 related to rent. But you are not required to mention these names. You will mention only realization account. So by realization will be 78, by realization 5,000, by realization 3,000. So you can see here, by realization account 78,000 in case of creditor, by realization account in case of expenses it is 5,000 relation expenses, and by realization account 3,000 is mentioned in case of rent. Then coming back again, we can see that there are no other entries related to cash in the debit side. Okay, there is no other entry related to cash in the debit side. Now coming to the credit side, what we have related to cash? We have got only cash account. Only cash account is there, which is only one cash account is there. Sorry, only one cash account is there that is related to the asset realized. And what is the amount? 6,34,000. So what is the entry for that? 6,34,000. How we are going to put it? It will be very simple. It will be going in the debit side of the cash as to realization account. How much? 6,34,000. To realization account, you just mention in the bracket if you want. Realization asset realized 6,34,000. Okay. Now you can see that the realization portion is over. Now we'll go to X loan account. What is there in the X loan? In the X loan, we can see that in the debit side it is to cash 30,000. So it will appear where? In the credit side. What will you mention? By X loan account 30,000. By X loan account 30,000. Clear? Now we will go for capital. In capital account also you can see that only cash is appearing in the debit side. There's nothing on the credit side. It may be in the credit side also. When? How we'll study in the video where we study about the sum, right? So we can see that we are in X it is 2,44,000, in Y it is 1,83,000, and in Z it is 1,11,000. So how it will appear? By X capital account 2,24,000, by Y's capital account 1,83,000, and by Z's account Z's capital account 1,11,000. Here by X capital account 2,44,000. Okay, by X capital account 2,44,000, by Y's capital account 1,83,000, by Z's capital account 1,11,000. The total of both the side is 6,54,000. Okay, 6,54,000. This is how you are going to solve a sum related to dissolution, a complete sum. Okay, this is just a glimpse of a bigger type of sum. Okay, but the concept, if it is clear, the journal entries, if it is clear, no one can stop you, my dears. So please take care of this. Build your concept more than the concept, more than the study. That is what you relate. That is what you relate for your final examination. More than building that knowledge, you try to build up your concepts. Once your concept is clear, your marks also will come, your career also can be developed properly. Okay, please take care of these things. These notes are very, very important. Okay, so my dear students, today we are going to end up the class here. Take care of yourself, make a proper note of all these things, and we'll meet in the next video with more questions. Bye bye, take care.